So if you have not been kept up to date with the PRC community, especially the Discord, there has been an absolutely massive uproar for a fire department update. And after thinking about this, people are kind of right. From what I can find, the last time anything major was added to the fire department team was back in July of 2024 with the Summer Update Part 2, where we got the Canyon Descender and ATV for the team. Even before that, it's difficult to find when something big was added to the fire department team. Just by going through Discord messages in the PRC server, it seems that before the 2024 summer update, the last major thing that was added to the fire department team was in the 2023 summer update, where we got the second station Springfield, the heavy tanker, medical bus, command center, and lastly, custom liveries for the team. And for this video, I want to go over what the community wants, as well as give my own thoughts and opinions if we get this hypothetical massive fire department update. First, starting off, we have new mechanics. I've seen some people say this in the PRC suggestion channel, and I'm not surprised it's talked about more, but I think the ability for fires to spread to nearby areas, if possible, would be really cool. For example, let's say you are arriving at a house fire. If you and other firefighters are not spraying the house with water within a certain amount of time, the fire could spread to nearby areas like trees, bushes, fences, and maybe even power lines. Might as well throw new calls in this section as well, because I would consider those mechanics. That being said, I think a AI water rescue could be really cool and unique as opposed to just fighting fires, which most of the calls are. A car crashes into the river and you need to get a civilian out and bring them to the hospital. Could be similar to the car crashes we already have in game, where they're classified as major server calls. I've also seen people suggest that at structure fires there should be unconscious NPCs for paramedics to help out with. I think this would be great to make the fires at these locations, like the houses, feel more alive and not just vacant. Next is pretty unlikely, but I think some sort of partial building collapse would be pretty interesting as well, as opposed to just fighting fires once again. Maybe a car crashes into the side of a building and there's people hurt in the car and you gotta bring them to the hospital. Same premise. Lastly, for mechanics, I like the axe to have some use. For example, when you're at a house fire, there's a chance that maybe the house is locked and you can't just walk in through the doors, so you have to break down the door in order to gain entry to the house. A main new tool / piece of equipment that I have in mind is a TIC. A TIC is a thermal imaging camera, which, as the name might suggest, is a thermal camera. It is used to locate areas of a fire that could be hidden. And similar to the axe before, I think a Halligan would be nice as well. I'd say vehicles are definitely the main talk of this hypothetical fire update. And while I agree new vehicles would be nice, I'd say something like mechanics or quality of life features would be better. Because if there's too many new vehicles added, I think they're all just going to feel the same, if I'm totally honest. But that being said, new vehicles will be nice, so I'm going to try and keep this short. Before talking about completely brand new vehicles, I think there should definitely be vehicles on the fire department team that already exist in ERLC. There are three main choices I have for this: the 2021 Chevy Tahoe, the 2022 Ford Expedition, and the 2003 Ford Expedition. And I mainly vouch for the Expeditions here, because when was the last time you actually saw someone using the Ford Expedition on the police team? I think I've seen every other police vehicle at some point except this car. I think it's also very worthy to note that the Expedition seems to be very popular among fire departments and EMS services. Lastly, for the cars we have in game, might as well throw in the Crown Vic and the Chevy Silverado in there as well, although this is not a drivable vehicle, the equipment trailer that is on the police team. As for new vehicles to ERLC, the main talk here is a mid-mount tower ladder of some sort. In my opinion, a Pierce Aero XT or a Seagrave aerial scope would work very well. I'm not a fan of the Pierce Velocities, which we have in game already for a few trucks such as the Heavy Rescue and the Command Truck. They just look weird to me, as well as the Pierce Aero XT is such a really cool piece of equipment. My town has one, and it's very cool to see. I've also seen a lot of people suggest more specialized units, such as a collapsed rescue truck, a search and rescue truck, as well as foam tender trucks. I think it would be good to have some late 90s to early 2000s apparatus, such as the Pierces, Seagraves, Internationals, and Max, just to name a few. But then as you rank up, you get the more modern apparatus that have maybe faster deployment speed for a ladder truck, for example. And lastly, I think a Ford ambulance would be pretty nice as well. Customization, I'd say, is the second most suggested thing, although this could definitely be the most suggested thing as well. This has been suggested for years. A few years back, I even hoped that the fire department customization, if we got some for the cars and pickup trucks similar to police, where you can change out the light bars, some lighting, wheel covers, antennas, etc. There seems to be a lot of people who want this applied to the apparatus as well, such as new cab styles, deck guns, rotor rays, cosmetic bell, a Q siren, and other customizations that may not even just affect gameplay, just purely cosmetic. And this suggestion, which is pinned in the suggestion channel, is possibly one of the most popular legitimate suggestion messages in the PRC suggestion channel. People just want anything. I just want to add that I think the ability to hang a flag on the back of the trucks would be really cool, with maybe a little waving animation like it's flying in the wind when you're driving around. I think it would be better for this feature to have an option to turn off the animation to help with frame rate. I don't really have much here, but I might get some flack for this, but I think the removal of the Bluetooth hose would be good. It would help out with the point above with fire spreading. You actually have to get set up with the hoses connected to the trucks and all that. And also, it looks dumb, and it's not that hard to connect the hose to the truck and just start spraying with the hose. It's pretty easy. And that's all I have for this video. Do you agree with what was said in this video? Do you think the fire department team in ERLC even needs an update? Let me know down in the comments below. Anyway, have a good one.